glitched onto the table.
You've broken. Somehow. Oh. Right. Time to get something else from the... What am I doing? No. No, I want to get some out of the... Where are you going? Oh, oh, I've gone. Oh, I think you just broke something. Oh, my God. Chair? I double that with sledgehammer. Oh, no, maybe not. Ah!
Oh, blooded you.
Oh, oh my God. Well, you... No. But the ref's like, alright, I ain't seen you two in a while.
Right stick down to pin.
No! No! How do I... Oh. That was... What? What on earth happened then?
I pinned you.
I know that, but...
After bloodying you up.
I'm on about the game. What just happened?
I think I may have finally got my head around what's going on.
I just bashed buttons and hoped for the best, and that obviously didn't work.
Okay, hello, welcome to the 60-second game podcast, and by 60-second I mean 60, not as in after 61, which I can see being a bit of an issue later on. This is the podcast number 1 for Smackdown VS Raw 2010. With me in the studio are Mr. Rich Hatton.
Hello.
Bit louder.
Hello.
No, normal. Yeah, I'll do. Mr. Teslow.
Hello.
Mr. Ant Tremaine.
Good evening.
And we're going to talk very briefly about Smackdown vs Raw 2010. I don't think you've played this, have you, Tez? So
No.
I don't blame you if you just sit here and sit in silence.
Yeah.
So that's completely fine. I mean, you can have a quick go of it while we're talking, if you like. If we've got the pad,
Yes.
Ant is handing in the pad.
From the cat.
So we're very briefly going to talk about some of the stuff that wasn't included in the review of the main game. Basically, this is the latest in a long line of SmackDown games. They've done pretty much one a year since about the year 2000, when THQ took over the license from Activision? No, Acclaim. And the THQ games were good because you didn't have to put in a complex number of combinations for doing certain moves. Excuse me. And yeah, it simplified the control system to the point where anyone could pick it up and play it. Now, it's gone the other way recently. I mean, given that they've been doing this for about 10 years now, each game they refine the formula ever so slightly, and they add bits to it. And we've reached the stage now where the actual user manual, I'll just have a quick flick through it now, has 4 pages of controls, plus you've got the superstar abilities where they go into further detail, the kick out meter, which when obviously someone pins you either press a button rapidly or you have to sort of fill up the meter, the extra superstar abilities, and so on and so forth. But I mean, it's reached the stage now where Mr. Hatton here, he first played the game for the first time in a long time last week, I believe it was, and it just didn't work for you, did it?
No. Very, very confusing. I played Smackdown 2 on the PlayStation 1, and that had one button to hit, one button to run, which is still there, and one button to do throw moves, and that was it.
And that's all you needed.
Yeah, this
Back
has
in the
just
day.
got counter grapplers and all sorts. It's just very confusing.
In the other respect, though, it is very similar to real wrestling. So it does sort of, it has reached the stage where it's less arcade, more simulation
Yeah.
of the real thing. But I can see it being an issue for some people who are new to the game, especially Ant as well. I mean, if you listen to the intro, Ant had one hell of a time trying to play the game. And what do you think?
Oh my God! It's a case of the only good thing I actually managed to get the hang of was if I
Run
away, or bash him in the face with my fist, or do some strange breakdancing and somehow dismantle a table in the process. Yeah, it made no sense. Mind you, I've never really played many wrestling games before, and usually when I did, I used to just button bash.
Yeah,
just be one of them horrid Tekken ones.
That's all the wrestling games used to be, button bash, because like I say, you used to have to put in combos like up, down, up, circle, that sort of thing. And I mean, the control system in this game isn't exactly brilliant, but it does make more sense than the old Acclaim system, because I never did any moves in the old Acclaim games. I actually did more wrestling moves on the SNES games, wrestling games that I did on the PS1 ones. But there we go. Moving on. Amongst the many features, there are like 70 different match types, including there's like triple threat, one-on-one, various versions of that. If someone can pass me the control pad, I can have a look at that.
Yes, it was.
There's several different, loads of match types. I mean, one-on-one, there's Inferno match where you've got to set your opponent on fire. First Blood where you've got to make him bleed. False Count Anywhere.
Set them on fire?
Yeah.
Set them on fire?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? Just wait for them to spontaneously combust?
You have to reach the point in the game. Obviously, it's scripted in real life, but sorry if there are any kids listening that don't know that yet.
It's a fake. It's a sham.
But
It's not real. It's almost as fake as X Factor.
But not quite.
No.
Yeah, almost as fake, but not quite. But yeah, I'll show you the Inferno match in a bit. But the Full Count Anywhere, Hell in a Cell, which you'd have seen in the video review, Iron Man match where you have to get the most number of pinfalls within a set time limit. In the real world, it's usually a 60-minute match, but can you really see yourself sitting and playing an Iron Man match for an hour in the game? So rather sensibly, they've set 10-minute, 20-minute, or 30-minute Iron Man matches, which 30 minutes is even too much, I think, for me. 10 will probably do it. Ladder match where you've got to obviously climb up and retrieve a belt from above the ring using a ladder. Last man standing, where it's the last person to be standing pretty much. You've got to pummel your opponent until he can't stand up. Normal submission, which is basically no pinfalls. Steel cage, which is what Hell in a Cell used to be like, but steel cage is just a cage that they put literally around the edges of the ring. Whereas Hell in a Cell, you've got some floor space around the outside, and you can actually climb on top of it as well, and put people through it as well, which you'll have seen in the review as well, and throw people off it, of course. Table match where it's obviously clues in the name. You've got to put someone through a table. Simple as. And TLC, which is table, ladders, and chairs. Now again, it's a Ron Seal match. You can use tables, ladders, and chairs, and invariably other weapons as well. And basically, it's the first team or person to be pinned loses. New backstage areas, all of which are locked at the moment because I haven't actually played it properly. Apart from the backstage arena brawl, which is the only one that obviously they've got to give you one to start with, and the Extreme Rules match, which Ant and Hatton played in the intro.
Was that what we were doing?
Yeah, Extreme Rules match with weapons aplenty, and of course into all of this you've got all the 2-on-2 matches, all the tag team style matches. You've got the triple threat where again they throw in the Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell, etc., etc. Same with the 6-man. 6-man you've got Armageddon Hell in a Cell, which is 6 men in the cell together.
If you weren't talking about wrestling, it just sounds
it
sounds sort of
disgusting.
gay porno.
Yeah. The Elimination Chamber, which again sounds very similar. Basically, Elimination Chamber is Hell in a Cell again, with a slightly differently designed cell, but 2 men start in the ring, and you've got 4 people in little compartments on the outside. And every 2 minutes or whatever time limit it is, 1 person gets released into the ring, and it's elimination until there's only 1 man left. Okay. Money in the Bank, it's a ladder match but with 6 men, pretty much. Handicap, obviously, simple as. Royal Rumble, which is a new feature. They've had Royal Rumbles in previous SmackDown games, but this one has the new mini game button bashing thing that was featured in the main review. And Championship Scramble, which we didn't mention, which is there's a set time limit, and you've got to basically, whoever's champion after 10 minutes wins and keeps the belt. So the actual champion themselves can not be pinned and still lose the belt. So that's one thing they build up, big up in wrestling, and it's like all scripted. But but there we go. So that's some of the various features. Also expanded on this year is the online area.
Is that just as confusing as everything else?
Probably, yeah. It's basically the online feature lets you download created wrestlers that people have uploaded. It lets you download created storylines, which we'll come on to in a bit as well. You can also download basically pretty much anything. You can have matches against people online as well, and it's quite a nice addition to the system, which has been sadly missing from recent games. I mean, SmackDown 09 was rubbish, quite frankly, which is why I traded it in. The story mode is another new addition where basically you can pretend to be a WWF writer and create your own stories. That's pretty much as simple as it gets.
There's green and pink men.
Yeah, that's created wrestler moves.
Why is there someone called
right.
Daphne?
All
the names you could have gone
There
with.
is a wrestling valet called Daphne. So
Really?
it's probably based on her, yeah.
Oh. I thought it was just
So,
being silly.
let's have a look at this. We're having a look at the Black Tiger Bomb wrestling maneuver,
Oh, no.
which is one obviously someone's created online, and that looks quite silly.
How fast do they want to
That's
do it?
very fast.
How many spins in mid-air? Just one.
Just one.
Just the one.
It looks like about 4, doesn't it?
That is, yeah.
That's a bit
So
silly.
that's apparently a Black Tiger Bomb.
Yeah, of course it is.
But yeah, they've pretty much expanded it, so you can download wrestlers, you can download moves, you can download finishers, you can download pretty much everyone's own creations. So basically there are storylines on here as well that relate to like current TNA storylines. That's total non-stop action and not TNA. And
Razor Ramon.
yeah, someone's created Razor Ramon. Let's have a look at him. Yeah, yo. Let's press view. So yeah, it's a much expanded system, and you can't really go wrong. I mean, in fairness, SmackDown isn't like the best of games to review straight off because it's very compartmentalised. You can't really sort of go off on one about it. The review of Assassin's Creed 2, which should be the next one. There will be at least 3 of us that can talk about that, so it should be a bit more of an interesting podcast instead of me just ranting on at you.
Right.
We've already talked about the controls. We've got Razor Ramon up on the thing now. It's 1993 Razor Ramon. And let's have a look
This
at
one
his
is absolutely chuffle to me.
He's very hairy.
He's got
Yeah.
a bit of bling now.
cinematic attire as well. Same as his intro attire. But that's actually quite a good representation of him, to be quite honest. There's the good and the bad online. So overall, it is quite a good game. Newcomers probably won't get too much out of it to start with, unless they're wrestling fans in the first place. And case in point,
Living proof.
But yeah, if you do like wrestling games, then you can't really go much worse than this. I mean, the only other one that's really available at the moment is TNA, Total Non-Stop Action, which has its flaws, and we'll be reviewing shortly after New Year, hopefully. Mostly just to see Hatton punching someone in the groin over and over again. But yeah, as wrestling games go, it's like most things. With SmackDown has its rival in TNA, EA FIFA has Pro Evo, NHL 2010 has NHL 2K10, that sort of thing. So there's always sort of like the mainstay and the upstart rival. But SmackDown has been doing this for quite a long time now, and they've sort of got the formula pretty decent to this stage.
Interesting side note, THQ I think have lost the development rights for the next SmackDown game.
I don't think it's been confirmed yet. It's one of the things
I think it's up in the air.
Yeah, it's because
sniffing around it.
Yeah.
They make everything though, don't they?
But the thing is with EA, if they get it, they did destroy WCW.
Right.
Because their WCW games were rubbish. They were a little bit better than Acclaim's WWF games, but I don't trust them. Don't trust them. The training facility as well. With the training facility, it's there's a checklist of moves to help you out if you are brand new. So it might be an idea if you've never played SmackDown before, to give the training facility a go and learn all the controls that way. And there's no pressure then. And you can even set the computer opponent to be dumb and not actually do anything. So entirely up to you.
I'll be right up more straight then.
Yeah.
I'm going to set it so I can win!
And create modes as well. There's create a finisher, create an entrance movie, and all of that. You can really sort of do what you like with it. And that pretty much sums it up. I have the story mode as well, Road to WrestleMania, which I still think is a bit boring. I still prefer the storyline mode of the old N64 game No Mercy, which was brilliant. Still the best wrestling game in my opinion, that one. And the story mode of the original SmackDown games, where you had a choice of route and you could say yes or no to various storylines and so on and so forth. But with Road to WrestleMania, you don't really get that option, so it's nice to see the story designer come in, because then you can actually choose where the story goes. I mean, the downside is you have actually got to sit there and actually write the entire story before you can play it, but you know, swings and roundabouts. So those of you listening at home will not realise there was an edit there, hopefully. So that pretty much sums up this podcast. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, send us an email, info@randomstoke.com. We'll respond to you hopefully within a day or two. If not, then please feel free to send dog poo through to us in the post. Yeah, get us on randomstoke.com, send us an email, info@randomstoke.com, and we'll see you next time for Assassin's Creed 2. Bye for now.